mics on both sides. So let me start off asking the first question, Veronica. How did you come up with the story for Divergent, and tell people a little bit about it?
Okay, I'll just give the summary to start. The book is about a futuristic Chicago in which society is divided into 5 factions. Each faction represents a particular virtue. And I'm going to try and list them for you, but sometimes when I get nervous I forget them, so bear with me. The virtues are honesty, peacefulness, bravery, intelligence, and selflessness. Okay. And the book is about a 16-year-old girl named Beatrice, who, along with all the other 16-year-olds in her society, has to pick which faction she wants to belong to. And she grew up in the selfless faction, but she's not really sure that's where she belongs. So the story is about her decision and its consequences and the dangerous, strange, and corrupt world she lives in. So that's the summary of the book. But I came up with it my freshman year in college when I was driving to Minnesota, which is where I was going to college at the time, but not where I ended up. And basically what happened is I just imagined someone jumping off a building, but not for a self-destructive reason. And I wondered why a person would do that, and that's where one of the factions came from. And then as I figured out what the society would be like and how it would be structured, that's kind of where the rest of the book came from.
All right, great. I think we have our first question tonight.
Hi, I was wondering if you could tell us the story of how Hollywood came calling and you found out that your book was going to be turned into a movie. And also, do you get a sense of possibly the studio or the director consulting you in terms of your ideas on possibly who to cast in the lead roles?
Well, what happened was, the book hadn't even come out yet, but and I was completely unaware that anyone even knew anything about it. But my film rep guy, Puya Shabazian, told me that there was some interest, and he didn't really tell me much more than that. But as time went on, there was, finally it came to the point where I had to know the details, and he said, someone is interested in your book, we want to talk about, maybe making this happen, and I was like, what? But it was very exciting and kind of bewildering because, you don't expect this to happen to you when you're 22. Even to get a book published is crazy, but to have a movie studio interested in it is not something I ever imagined. I don't know, it's been great, and Summit's been great, and I don't know, I don't know how things are going to work. I'm a writer, not a film person, so I'm kind of happy to just, let people who know what they're doing take care of it. Well, if I had to, I don't really know. I know only what the characters are like. Triss is, small, wayfish, kind of blonde girl who's got a little, tough spirit, and Forrest's kind of muscly, but not very muscly dude, brown hair, and that's all I know. He's mysterious, and anyone who can pull that off I'm happy,
Can you talk about if you're going to have any, or if you've had any collaboration with a screenwriter, or whether you have interest in collaborating on the script?
As far as the screenwriter goes, I'm hoping I think I get to meet him later, which is exciting. But he just got picked up for this, and or picked this up. I don't know how it goes. But so there has been no real opportunity for that to happen, and I'm open to helping him out. But I think he kind of knows what he's doing. So.
Back there.
Hi, Veronica. I was wondering, out of all of the personality traits that humans portray, how did you determine those 5 specific personality traits as the individual factions that the book is based on?
Well, what really happened is I thought about the reason that they formed the society, supposedly because they believed that focusing on character flaws or eradicating character flaws will create a peaceful society. So we've mostly just thought about which virtues I would pick. And the first ones I chose were bravery and selflessness and intelligence and the focus on peacefulness and friendship or kindness, which is kind of what that faction is. And then I realized something was missing, and I thought about what it was, and it was the honesty one. So it's kind of just, it comes from the logic of the world. That's kind of how I came up with it.
Thank you. Hi, Veronica. Although we're set in a dystopian future in Chicago, what scene, without totally giving away anything, are you most looking forward to being adapted into the movie?
Well, I mean, obviously we don't know what scenes would actually make it in, but I think one of the pivotal moments that I would be interested in seeing is there's a point where a character, well, it's kind of what I told you earlier, the character jumps off the building and into a net, and it's just this huge moment where she just takes a step into nothingness, and it signifies like leaving the old world and going into the new world, and I would really love to see that.
Have you written any follow-ups yet to Divergent, and would you like to get something to feedback?
Sorry, can you repeat the last part of that?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Have you written any follow-ups yet, and how many reviews would you be willing to see this spin out into?
Well, it's a trilogy, so I am working on the second book currently, and hopefully it will be released around May 2012, and then the third one will be probably about a year after that. So I'm in the middle of finishing the manuscript and then send it over to get it for a long editing process. But, yeah.
As an author that is now doing their work adapted into a different medium, have you put a lot of thought into kind of letting go of whatever their interpretation is going to be? And are you fine with that, or are you wondering how you're going to even react to reading that first draft of the screenplay and maybe seeing things that you think are important, not there, or vice versa?
Well, I think I am aware of how different the mediums are. Some things that are, I mean, even listening to the audiobook, certain lines that looked fine on paper, I laughed when I heard them. It's just like, this doesn't really work the same way as when you're reading it. So I've always tried to be very open about how movies differ from books and how the sense or the tone of something can be conveyed in a different way in a movie that's not exactly how it was in the book. And so I think I'm pretty okay with that. As long as the themes and the characters and kind of the overall mood of the book are communicated, I'm open to change.
I know you were at Northwestern. Were you doing the book while you were taking a full course load of school? And also, did you have any teachers that were influential or offered encouragement during the process of writing?
Well, I was very secretive about what I was writing while I was at Northwestern because I wasn't sure how they would receive a young adult science fiction book since they have a focus on adult literary, which that focus helped me learn how to be a better writer. So I'm very happy that I was in that program. But I didn't really tell very many people about it. Yes, I was enrolled in school. I think it was my senior year when I was writing it, and I wrote the bulk of the first draft while I was on winter break, which is about 40 days long. And then I continued to edit and write for the next few months before I got my agent. So luckily, I decided to take a light course load. It's 3 classes instead of 4. Otherwise, I don't know how I would have balanced that time. It was a little tough, but you make sacrifices, and my sacrifices were generally homework, so.
All right, I think we're about out of time unless there are any last questions. Nope. Okay, thank you so much.